Welcome dear students, and in the last class we have completed third exercise first chapter, and let us start fourth exercise of real numbers first chapter. And before going to start the fourth exercise, and there is a small theorem. What is the theorem and how do we prove? Let us see. And the theorem is, let p be a prime number if p divides a square. A prime number divides a square, then here what is A? A is any positive integer. Let A be any positive integer. Then P divides A2. If P divides A square, it's a square, then P divides A. And how do we prove? Let us see. In the proof you have to take, already they have given, let A be any positive integer. Positive integer. Let A be any positive integer. Means if it is a positive integer, then what would be the prime factors of A? Let us see. Then the prime factors of A. What would be the prime factors? You know that A is equal to, A is a positive integer. If you factorize this number, you will get some prime factors. What would be the prime factors? We can take P1 into P2 into P3 into P4 into and so on Pn. We get some prime numbers for this positive integer. Yes. Then here we have A square, squaring on both sides. A square means we get P1 square into P2 square into P3 square into P4 square and so on Pn square. We get like this. Now the question is, if P divides A square, here according to the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, if P divides A square, then P is a factor of A square. According to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, you can say that if P divides A square, then P is one of the factors of A square. Then P is the one of the factors of A square. Why? Because P divides A square means P is the factor of A square. P is the factor of A square. If P is the factor of A square, then therefore, and here prime factors of A square will be P1, P2, P3 and so on. Therefore, P is 1 of P1 into P2 into P3 into Pn. So, A square factors are P1, P2, P3. So, P is according to this theorem, P is one of these factors. So, therefore, we can say that P divides A. So, therefore, P divides A2. Because if P divides A square we have taken, but according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, P is factors of these. So P is one of the factors of P1, P2, P3 and so on Pn. So therefore, if P is the factors of P1, P2, P3 and Pn, then surely you can say that P divides A, because so this is for A. So if P divides A square, then you can say that P divides A. And this is the theorem. Next, let us continue. Exercise 4. Yes. Now let us see the first bit. Exercise 4, the first bit, first question, the very first question. The following numbers, they have given some numbers. We have to prove that they are irrational. You have to prove that the following numbers are irrational. Okay, if you want to prove that it is an irrational, So let us take a reverse. Means this is, we are going to prove that it is irrational. Means you take this number, you assume the given number as a rational number. So let us take, solution, let's take 1 by root 2 is a rational number. Let us suppose 1 by root 2 is a rational number. Then you know that which are called rational numbers. What is the standard form of rational number? The rational numbers are in the form of p by q. So immediately you can take that form, that is p by q form. So here p comma q are not equals to 0. This is a standard form of rational number. Because we are going to prove that it is irrational, but we are coming back to front. Means this is called contradiction. We are going to take a reverse case. So let us take this as a rational number. Okay. Now by cross multiplication, or you take a reverse the fractional form, given fractional form inverse. You take the multiplicative inverse of the given fractional number. You will get root 2 by 1 is equals to q by p. So that is root 2 is equals to q by p. And my dear students, you observe both LHS and RHS. Here LHS, what is LHS? LHS is a irrational number. You know that which are called irrational numbers. We have discussed in the introduction of irrational number, introduction of real numbers, all types of numbers we have discussed. In that concept, you can, here root 2, here LHS is a rational number, but RHS is a p by q form or q by form, is a rational. It is irrational, but this is a rational number. So what you have taken 1 by root 2 is a rational number, so that contradicts, isn't it? So we have taken it is a rational number. No, it is not a rational number. Here root 2 is an irrational number, so therefore contradicts. So therefore what is correct? So 1 by root 2 is not a rational number. 1 by root 2 is a irrational number. Hence it is proved. You can write. So this is the problem. Coming to the second question, root 3 plus root 5. We have to prove that it is an irrational number. Same as all models are same, all questions are same. Anything if is given, a number, irrational number is given, first you assume it as a rational number. So let us assume that root 3 plus root 5 is a rational number, Then what do you get? Root 3 plus root 5 is equals to p by q. You know that where p and q are not equals to 0. Now we have two irrational numbers. You know that root 3 and root 5 are irrational number. And now take squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides, we get. You can question me, why should we square on both sides? Means why should we take this squaring on both sides? Why are you going to take the squares? Taking squares both sides, because already they have irrational numbers. So we have to convert into rational form, root 3 and root 5. When it is possible to convert into rational form, root 3 is an irrational number. When it is possible to convert into rational form, if it doesn't have square root, then it becomes rational. So how do you cancel, how do you remove this square root? By taking squares. That's why we are doing like. And root 3 plus root 5 whole square, and p by q whole square is p square by q square. It is in the form of a plus b whole square, a square plus b square plus 2a and p, and it is p square by q square. Yes. Now this gets cancelled, and 3 plus 5 is 8, and finally 2 root 3 5 is a 15. 2 root 15 is equals to p square by q square, and 3 plus 5 is 8. Is shifted to right side, we get minus 8. Isn't it? Okay. Now root 15 is equals to p square minus 8, p square by q square minus 8 whole divided by 2, means by 2. 2 is shifted to right side, we get denominator. And finally, just find the LCM here. What is the LCM of these two fractions denominator? Q square, one LCM is q square by cross multiplication. P square into 1, p square, minus 8 into q, 8q, by already 2 is multiplying is, and is equals to root 15. But observe, my dear students, here LHS is in a fractional form, but RHS is clearly, it is an irrational number. You can say that here root 15 is an irrational which contradicts. So therefore, p square minus 8q by 2q square. You can write the statement once again. Here LHS is a rational number, but RHS is an irrational number. So hence it contradicts the given statement. So therefore, what you have taken, that statement contradicts this one. So therefore, you can take the root 3 plus 5. Therefore, root 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. So just like this, it is very important model question. Surely you will get in all your examination, internal examination, formative examination, and also final examination. So please practice. When you practice this type of question, then you will get an idea. So that's all. And let's go to next question. Let us take question number 3, and here the question number 3 is 6. It is 6 plus root 2. We have to prove that it is an irrational number. Okay, let us assume, already I have told you, every question of this bit, if you want to prove the given number as an irrational number, first of all you assume that it is a rational number. Let's take 6 plus root 2 is a rational. If it is a rational number, you know that the standard form of rational number 6 plus root 2 is p by q, where p comma q are not equals to 0. Yes. Now we do one thing, and root 2 is equals to, because it is an irrational number, we keep an irrational number aside and shift this rational number to right side. P by q minus 6. And you know that here what is the LCM of, we have two fractions here. LCM of q and 1 is q. Now by cross multiplication, p into 1 p minus 6 into q 6q. Actually you observe here LHS and RHS. Here LHS is an irrational. RHS is a rational number. So therefore, what you have assumed, that is wrong. So therefore, our assumption is wrong, contradicts, because this contradicts the assumption. So therefore, what is that? Here 6 plus root 2 is a rational. Is it a rational? No. So therefore 6 plus root 2 is an irrational. So very clear, very easy questions, but important questions, keep in mind. And coming to the next question, 3 plus 2 root 5. Suppose 3 plus 2 root 5 is a irrational. Let us actually we are proving it is an irrational, but if it is rational, what do you get? According to rational number standard form, we get p by q, where p comma q are not equals to 0. And coming to just like the previous question, you keep 2 root 5 aside and shift the rational number to right side. And once again we do the same process just like the previous question. Find the LCM. Here LCM is q, q1 LCM is q. By cross multiplication, p1 is a p, minus 3 into q, 3q. But we have 2 root 5, isn't it? 2 root 5. I take root 5 and shift to right side. Shift the number 2 to right side, then numerator becomes denominator. We get like this. So therefore here observe the LHS and RHS. Same concept. Here LHS is an irrational, whereas RHS is a rational. So therefore our assumption is wrong. If your assumption is wrong, what you have taken that is wrong means what is correct? So therefore 3 plus 2 root 5 is not a rational, is an irrational. So just like this we can complete all the remaining questions. And one more question is there, somewhat different question. That's why third question and fifth question, the fourth question is something different. So that we'll discuss now. Yes, here we have to prove that root 5 is an irrational. So same just like the previous question. For example, let's assume it is a solution. Let's assume root 5 is a rational. Root 5 is a rational. We get root 5 is equals to p by q is a rational number. And some of the rational numbers, the numerators and denominators may have common factors, isn't it? Some of the fractions, numerators here, p and q are the numerator and denominator, they may have common factors. After cancellation of common factors, isn't it? After cancellation of common factors p and q, that fraction reduced to, after cancellation of common factors, we get a reduced fraction. So that is root 5 is equals to a by b. Now p by q converted into a by b, because p and q, they may have common factors. So after cancellation, this changes to a by b. Here a and b are co-primes. They have only one as common factor. Only one is a common factor of a and b, because now a and b are co-primes. They don't have common factor. If they have common factors, already cancellation is finished. So there will be no common factors. A and b are co-primes. We cannot cancel a and b with the common number table. So now squaring on both sides. We get root 5 square, and a by b whole square becomes a square by b square. Yes. And the next step, coming to the next step, root 5 square, root square and root gets cancelled, we get 5. 5 into b square, by cross multiplication we get 5b square is equals to a square. 5b square is equals to a square. Means 5 divides a square. Here 5 divides a square. 5 divides a square. Therefore 5, since 5 divides 5, 5 is cancellation. Easily we can cancel by 5 because 5 itself is a factor. Every number is a factor of itself. So therefore 5b square is equal to a square, means 5 divides a square. 5 divides a square. Then 5 divides 5. If 5 divides a square, then let us take, for example, then a is equals to 5c. If a is equal to 5c, then what would be a square? We get 5c square is 25c square, isn't it? A square is equals to 25c square. But what is a square? We have a square is 5b square. 5b square is equals to 25c square. 5 table you can cancel. 5 ones are 5 5s are. So b square is equals to 5c square. B square is equal to 5c square. Once again, observe everybody. 5 divides a square. 5 divides a square, isn't it? Now finally we got b square is equal to 5c square. Means 5 divides. So therefore 5 divides, this 5 divides b square. If 5 divides b square, then 5 divides b too. It's very clear. So 5 divides b. If 5 divides b square, then 5 divides b. So already we have got 5 divides a. Here, just now here. Yes. 5 divides a square means 5 divides a2. 5 divides a square means 5 divides a. Then finally you got 5 divides b. It means 5 is the common factor for a and b. It shows 5 is common factor of both a and b, which contradicts the assumption. Yes, already actually you have got 5 divides. What is that? We have got 5 is equals to here a and b are co-primes. Actually a and b are co-primes. If a and b are co-primes, how does 5 becomes a common factor for a and b? It's impossible, because here a and b are co-primes. So 5 doesn't become common factor of a and b. So therefore 5 divides b, 5 divides a, 5 divides both a and b is not at all possible. So therefore here you can say that what is assumption? Therefore root 5 is equals to p by q is not possible. So therefore root 5 is not a rational number. Root 5 is an irrational number. Root 5 is an irrational number. Hence it is proved. So just like this, my dear students, practice well, you will get perfection. In the next class, we will continue one more question. Yes, let us see the last question, that is second question of the fourth exercise, my dear students. And we have to prove that root p plus root q is an irrational number, where p and q are prime numbers. Yes, let us see. If p is a prime number, isn't it? If p is a prime number, then root p will be an irrational. Surely we know that, because 2 is a prime number. Then what does root 2 becomes? Root 2 becomes an irrational number. 5 is a prime number, root 5 is an irrational number. 7 is a prime number, root 7 is an irrational number. Surely, compulsory. So next, Q is a prime, therefore root Q is an irrational. Yes, root P is an irrational number, root Q also is an irrational number. Then here root P is an irrational, root Q is also an irrational, isn't it? So therefore root P plus root Q, the sum of, this is the last line, last statement, the sum of two irrationals, the sum of two irrationals is always an irrational. Therefore, my dear students, root P plus root Q is an irrational number. Hence, it is proved. Hence, it is proved. So, that's it.